Hello everyone, I'm Shaurya Thapa of Borrowing Tape, and today I'm joined with the team behind Sunlight, this new buddy comedy drama which explores the friendship between a woman in a monkey costume and a suicidal radio jockey. Sunlight is weird, it's funny, it's one of a kind. And today I'm joined with Nina Conti, who is the director, lead actor, and co-writer of the film, and Shenoah Allen, who is also one of the lead actors and writers. Welcome, Nina. Welcome, Shenoah.
Thank you.
Hello, thank you.
My first question is to both of you. Is that, like, without spoiling too much for the audience, Sunlight is definitely a story with some eccentric characters. Like Nina, you're playing a woman who is escaping a toxic relationship, and you have this alternate personality inside a monkey costume. Shanoa, you are this uptight radio jockey with a controlling mother. Now, how did you come up with these characters and this story? What inspired the idea behind the weirdness of the film?
Well, the building blocks are in us, in our real selves, I would say.
Hmm.
You say the next sentence. We can share. We could do one word each.
Yes. Yes. I think, lives are dynamic, crazy things. I mean, it's massively insane to be a human, and live in the world. And we end up confronting all sorts of things, whatever our life story is. And I don't want to make this too much about like a point about mental health or anything, but I've grappled a lot with depression and anxiety, and I wanted to, I guess the story, I don't always know where these things come from. I know that there's a lot of things that have happened in my life that might help to have contributed to that. Uh, but for a movie, we sort of needed a framework that made some digestible sense out of depression. So we created a backstory for them, and a surroundings for them to make it make sense. So that you weren't just left watching me be depressed. You had some reasons behind it. Uh,
Yeah, I mean, we both met fairly a bleak time in our lives, and it was at a point where I was dejected by my own comedy routine to the point where I wanted to remove myself from it. So I'm a ventriloquist talking to a monkey puppet. That's what I've been doing all these years. And I wanted to get rid of Nina because I thought she was just baggage to the monkey who would otherwise be much funnier. Um, so I stepped into that costume and thought, oh, at last I can be free, or at least now I can breathe. If only there was oxygen in the suit, I could really breathe. But that was, yeah, that was, it was truthful, came from a sort of truthful need. Um, and so, yeah, sorry, yes, it was all sort of natural and organic, I think, the way it came about.
And Nina, as you mentioned, your career as a ventriloquist. So how was the shift from, spending years as a ventriloquist and now making your first ever feature film as a director? So what was that experience like?
Well, it was quite scary. And the film was privately financed. So there were everybody who financed it, I felt a great sense of responsibility towards. And then learning to work with a crew, it was another thing. The whole thing, as long as we kept it fairly simple and it felt like Shenoah and I knew it to be from having improvised it and worked the script into life. And then just, someone to film it, someone to record sound, and someone to design it. It felt fine. It felt lovely, and yeah, great pleasure to bring it into a film.
it seems like you know, it's great that you're giving credit to all of the departments and everything. But a lot of your direction got its chance to shine in the edit, I would say. That
Yeah, the edit was very, very important to me, and you could really nail down every single beat of the story and make sure that it kept moving forward all the time. It was like a relentless process that I walked to the edit every day. It was like an hour and 20-minute walk, and that really helped to kind of sculpt it in my head, that walking time, as well as the time with the footage.
And during your writing process, were there any films that specifically inspired Sunlight, like in terms of style or story?
Yeah, yeah,
What I'm trying to think of what we talked about along the way.
yeah, there were films that I loved, like Waves and Little Miss Sunshine. Something about that was kindred. Darkness and light all in one, shining away. That was kind of what we wanted. Um, and what other films?
Yeah, Napoleon Dynamite a little bit, just in its vintage flavor.
And Eternal Sunshine. I mean, these have sun in the title as well. Eternal Sunshine and Little Miss Sunshine.
Yeah. It seems like Charlie Kaufman in general has been an inspirational figure. Ari Aster is somebody that we both really love.
And like when it comes to the humor of your film, Sunlight has several hilarious, how can I describe, out of pocket moments between your characters. So there's this like fun, crude sense of humor. For example, for me, there was a standout scene where both of you are singing a song about all the holes in our bodies. And so in scenes like these, like in very like crude, weird kind of scenes, were you two improvising along the way, or was it all in the script?
That song was not in the script.
No, not a single line of that song was in the script. No, I mean, we've spent 7 years, improvising together and stuff, and so it was like, I don't know, it just sort of happened. It just sort of happened. We realized, oh, we're doing this now.
Yeah.
We're singing about holes.
Yeah, it was a really fun discovery. And then we started to make sure we got enough footage of that whenever because we would drive out doing a scene, and then we'd have to go back to the beginning and drive again. So on the return trip, we would keep the cameras rolling and do another rendition of the whole song. So that we had a few takes.
Yeah, we like, have we got maybe one? How much road have we got left? We've got time for a few more holes.
And so it really permeated the set. There were a lot of people, maybe annoyingly in their minds, I don't know. There was an earworm. There was a lot of crew walking around singing about holes.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that song was catchy. I wish you can release it as a single on
Yeah,
Spotify.
putting out the feelers for anybody who can with a recording studio.
Yeah, we want to make it happen.
But talking about songs, what I also loved in your film was were like the needle drops. Like I love "Hey" by Pixies. That's one of my all-time favorite songs. And of course, it was Radiohead as well, like "Strange Fishes," I think. So, was there any specific idea behind using Pixies or Radiohead within the film?
It was heartfelt connection. And whilst I was location scouting those tracks, I was listening to music all the time to kind of try to help my world, make it all fit and see it. And those tracks just leapt out. Well, I'd listened to Weird Fishes when we went to the Grand Canyon the first time. And I got up really early and walked and just walked, amongst the trees and stuff, and heard that and thought, oh my God, this fits. So they just fit. It wasn't intellectual. They just fit. And then I made the mistake of putting them on the footage before we had the rights. And then I fell in love with them so deeply that I had to work incredibly hard to get them. And I absolutely wasn't going to stop until I got them. And lo and behold, I mean, thankfully, the artists agreed. But it was terrifying to me that I would have to replace them.
There's a nostalgia element in the movie also. I'm not sure exactly when it takes place, 90s maybe. And it's a little bit open. We didn't want to have iPhones and things like that, and uh, because they get in the way, they can really get in the way of storytelling, because things are too convenient, and so that led us a little bit into the past, but also just in developing the script, we talked to each other about our pasts so much that I feel like the Pixies made a kind of a perfect backdrop to the nostalgic feel of what it was to create the script, and the movie itself, because it just immediately takes you, or it takes me to a different kind of time in life, and it's just that, I mean, they're just such a great band,
I
and
remember in an early improv, you were doing a radio show as Roy, or you were just ending, like you were just ending your radio show, and you said as you finished up talking, and this is Bone Shakers by the Pixies, and you like Roy played the Pixies, so you kind of introduced me to them, and that's why I was listening to them, because it
right,
felt like something Roy would play. Um, and then when I heard "Hey," that was the one that really
yeah.
felt like the one. The lyrics of that kind of match in a discordant way.
Yeah, I guess I'm just gonna just praise Frank Black's more. He's also like, he's such a free performer and artist, and just really his own kind of guy. And I think that lines up with what we were really trying to do with this also.
And Nina, you mentioned somewhere about the shooting in the Grand Canyon. So can you tell me a bit about the filming locations or Sunlight?
Well, actually, Grand Canyon was a 6 hour drive from when we were filming, but we escaped there for a weekend once, just to
I
like
see.
get the feeling of the scope of the place. Um, we shot in New Mexico, which is where Shenoah is from. Although we grew the thing in London,
Hmm.
Shenoah painted a picture of New Mexico verbally that had me completely set on the idea.
And how long did it take you to film it all, like the shoot?
22 days?
24, I think.
24 days.
24 days.
I see. And the final question is that, again, without giving away too many spoilers to anyone, both of you have your fair share getting inside costumes in this film and shooting it in New Mexico, dry desert backdrop. Was it was it sweaty? Was it claustrophobic being inside those costumes for long periods like those?
Um, it's cumbersome and for sure, and very, very difficult to see.
Very difficult to drive.
Impossible to drive. Um, and very difficult. Well, Monkey only drove for one tiny bit, but wow,
Uh,
he was gunning it. I
yeah. Slow down, monkey. Like it was we,
thankfully a closed road.
yeah.
But yeah, it's very bothersome. It's sticky, it's fur in your mouth. You can't see, it gets hot, you can't breathe. I mean, all of that was ridiculous. You can't take the head off without rupturing the mic connection, and then you're going to have to waste time putting that back. So it was tough, and I spent a lot of time with a sort of bruise on my forehead because I would just up it but not take it off the whole way, and it really pinched. I mean, you had to have a sense of humor with all of that kind of nonsense. There was no, you couldn't like ever really take yourself too seriously when you're doing it like that, which I think is a grand rule for life, is not to take yourself too seriously.
Fair enough. I mean, I'm here in London right now and it's burning. I was watching your film and I was sweating myself looking at you guys. I was like, yeah, it could never be me. I would always need a stunt double if I was acting in a monkey costume. But but anyway, my last question to you guys is that, so based on whatever you told me about the making of this film, what was the most challenging as well as the wholesome part of making Sunlight together?
Oh,
It's a long
it's
road.
the hustle that's the hard bit. It's the hustle in the first place for the money and for the all of that, and then for distribution and all of that. It's like the workings of the film industry are tough. The making it's a joy.
I see. And what would you advise filmmakers not to do after your directorial debut? Like, word of warning.
Word of warning.
Yeah. I don't know. A word of warning. Don't don't listen to too many people that tell you why something won't work. A lot of people want to sound smart by telling you what won't work. So maybe it will work, and maybe they don't know everything.
Yeah, and maybe trust yourself and do things yourself. You don't, as much as you can. If any bit you want to try to do yourself, you might as well give it a go, because then you can forgive yourself for your own wrong. But when you've got somebody else's wrong and you delegated, that's more annoying.
Yeah.
I don't know, it's harder to live with.
Yeah, really hard to live with putting your life blood into something for years, that comes out badly because you kowtowed to someone else. Make your own mistakes.
Fair enough. Words to live by. And on that note, I'll end this interview. Thanks a lot for your time, Shenoah and Nina, and best of luck for Sunlight. And I hope we get to see more monkey movies from you guys.
Thanks very
Thanks
much.
so much.